All right, so in this video, I want to talk about building trust through imitation. This is a very psychological way to build trust. This is, you can use this for good, again, to get people to do things that are good for them. Some people use this for bad. This is how con men can con people out of money and do bad things. So not only is this video good for you to help with selling, but it's good for you to understand so you can read the signs and know when someone's using it on you and what is the intent of what they're doing. Is it good for you or bad for you? So definitely good to know this. I've got two young little girls. One is 7, one is 9. The youngest likes to imitate the oldest, likes to do what the oldest does. And the oldest child gets irritated by it because she's like, she's just copying me. Well, she's copying her because she likes her. She likes what she's doing. She looks up to her. And so when you're young, you don't quite get that. But when you get older, it really goes into your subconscious when people are doing what you do. You see, we like people who are like us, right? If you're a very analytical person, right, you don't quite understand or maybe get along with people that are very emotional decision makers, right? And in some ways you can get irritated and go, I can't believe that they would make a decision for that reason. If you are a quiet talking individual, if you're kind of closed in, you get irritated when people are loud spoken. Or vice versa, you're a loud, authoritative person the way you talk. And when people talk like this and you can barely hear them, you get irritated. You're like, can you speak up? Right? If you're a manly person, you are attracted by other manly men and you don't have time for feminine men. Right? Maybe not to that extreme. But you get where I'm going at here. We are more attracted to people that share personality traits that we do. And so when you're trying to get on someone's good side, trying to build trust, I'm not saying go out of your way and be unauthentic. I'm not saying fake it. But if you can imitate things or do things the way you see them doing, you're going to easier gain their trust in their business. Okay? So here are a few things here. So again, I spoke volume. If I come in and I've got a loud, thunderous voice, and that's my personality, if you speak the same way with me, I'm going to get a great conversation with you. I'll tell you, I talk with a lot of shops, and quite frankly, there's a lot of shop owners who are very gruff and rough and get to the point. I don't have time for this fluff. And that's great. So when I know I get on that phone call with them, there's no point in me going on and on about the weather, the sunshine, and how are things going, isn't today glorious? Because it's just going to irritate them, right? I have other shop owners that I talk to that want to spend 5 or 10 minutes just catching up before we get to the phone call, before we get to the business, right? So knowing who your customer is so you can match them at that level makes it so that they're more willing to buy. They're more attracted to buying from you, okay? So volume of voice, tone of voice, lingo, words. Like this is huge. Different generations of people from different parts of town, people from different countries like Canada, we have our own lingo and mannerisms. And when you can, again, match that, you're on their level. You're becoming on their level, right? When you use words like, that was sick, that was dope, some words that maybe were used in the 90s from those people, and someone's using those words, use them again on your conversations back because you're just building rapport. You speak like them. So again, don't be unauthentic and fake. If there's certain words that maybe offend you, don't say them because you're trying to match the conversation, but try and use them in a natural way that will build a stronger bond. I had a friend that was really good at this, and I used to laugh, and he was really good at his voice and imitating people's tones and voices. I'm sure he could make a killing if he ever went on as being an actor like that of imitations. And I used to watch him get into conversations with people of Eastern countries, people from Ireland, different countries with different accents. And as he would slowly talk with them, he would more and more twist his accent to match theirs, and they wouldn't even notice. They would just keep talking, and the bond would grow, and the conversation would get deeper. And by the end of it, he would have a full-on Irish, Scottish, East Indian, whatever. He had a full-on accent just like them. And I could hardly contain myself sometimes from bursting out laughing. But he was able to use that talent, and no one ever caught on. The relationship kept building stronger, and they didn't even realize it. It was so funny. So I'm not saying go to that extreme, but by matching people's mannerisms like this, you can deepen a connection. Attitude, right? So I say having a positive attitude is great. Having a positive attitude is contagious. But if you know that I come in and I am just kind of normally kind of a grumpy person, I'm just always maybe just down at this level, or my emotion is just rock solid, never goes up and down, I would get irritated by people that have emotions that are like this. Sorry, I'm getting the camera there. So knowing who you're talking with and what attitudes that they have. Maybe they're not as positive. Sure, it's good to be a little positive. Tone it down a little bit if you're super positive. Tone it down a little bit to get closer to them. But don't be all hypey and positive when the person you're talking to isn't, right? Or vice versa. If who you're speaking with is a very positive person and outgoing, get yourself out of your comfort zone a little bit and get a little bit more upbeat, right? Just to match them. Posture, right? You can see when people walk in, they are a proper posture working person, and you're sitting at your service advisor desk leaning down and stuff, right? The body language is huge. They perceive at maybe as being a bit more like a slacker. You're not taking them with urgency. So that is an important thing, is to try and mimic or increase your posture to match them. Hand motions is the next one. This is so important. You'll see when I'm making videos, my hands are intentionally moving. They're intentionally try to get them up in the camera instead of just talking like this all the time. It's very important because this is very interesting. We still have a prehistoric mind. Our mind is always thinking about survival, okay? And when you show your hands to people, you're saying, I've got nothing to hide. There are no clubs in my hands. There are no weapons here. You are safe being around me. All right? So when your hands are always in your pocket and you don't show your hands, you're perceived as hiding something. And the subconscious mind of the other person is always feeling a little like, I don't know if he's telling me everything. I don't know if he's being completely honest. But when you speak and you have hand motion, it's helping tell people that they're safe. There's nothing here to hide. Hi, let's shake hands. See that my hands are empty. It's very subconscious, but let me tell you, it is very effective. You will see that professional speakers and presenters have a lot of hand motion. They want to keep you interested and keep you focused on what's going on and let you know that it's safe. Last one would be eye contact. Always talking with eye contact. Don't get into a staring contest, but don't always be, looking around, showing that you might not be, completely engaged into this conversation and what you're saying, right? Eye contact lets them know that you're interested in this conversation. You're in on this with them. So that's it for this video. Again, as always, let me know if you have any questions. Reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you out further.